looked up to Beethoven, but at the same time his writing was very intensely innovative and emotional and dramatic, and also particularly unique to his writing style is that it was always so dense, and it reflected his personality in the sense that Brahms was this big, serious man who was very tough on himself. Especially, he was a perfectionist, so it took him a lot of time to write his works, and he was never satisfied. He destroyed a lot of his works, unfortunately, and he never thought it was good enough. He famously said, "How can anyone write a symphony after Beethoven?" And so it took him years and years before he wrote his own first symphony. And in this particular piece also, it showcases that kind of struggle, the kind of difficulty in the writing. There's a lot of building and building to climaxes, and it really, I think, shows his personality. And now Emily will tell you a little bit more about this piece.
I always like to talk a little bit about this piece before we play it because it's so massive and it's quite dense. It's very characteristic of Brahms's writing, very rich, almost like chocolate, very stormy, and of course very dramatic. And it's in 4 movements, and this very first movement begins with unison violin, cello, and piano, which when it happens in classical music it's very significant because it doesn't happen very often. To me it sort of sounds like the narrator beginning this adventure that we're about to go on. And you'll hear that after that it's followed by this brilliant line in the piano, which is answered by the strings. And you'll actually hear that 3 times in this first movement. This first movement is full of a lot of different episodes. You'll hear many, many contrasts, very exciting moments as well as very still moments. And he just is a master at building all this tension and release. So that's the first movement. The second movement is quite different. It's not stormy at all, and it actually shows a different side of Brahms. So there's a very famous tune that you've all heard before, I guarantee it. Corey will play it now. So that lullaby was written by Brahms, and the second movement is very much like a lullaby. It's not that exact same one, but you'll hear it's very dreamy, and it starts in the piano. It's decorated by the other strings, and then later the strings pick it up, and it's just a very gorgeous movement. The third movement is right back to the storminess, and it starts with solo cello pizzicato, which to me sort of sounds like thunder rumbling in the distance, and you know something very exciting is going to happen. This movement is just a lot of building, and you sort of might think at certain points that, oh, this must be the most exciting point in this movement. Can't possibly get more exciting, but that's not true. Brahms just keeps going at it. It's in scherzo form, so it's in 3 parts, and you'll hear that the first and third part are the same, but the middle one, it's very different, so you'll know exactly when it happens. It sounds sort of like this relief from the storm, just briefly, just this openness, this regal quality to it. That's the third movement. And then the fourth movement has a very interesting introduction. It starts with the cello first, and then other voices enter one at a time. It's kind of eerie and cosmic, and we don't really know what's going to happen, so it sounds like a big question mark. But then it finally sort of launches into this folk dance-like section. And this last movement is similar to the first movement, where you'll hear a lot of different episodes, a lot of contrasts, a lot of moments of excitement and also stillness, and Brahms just keeps building it all the way to the end, where he makes it faster and faster and even more exciting. Then he tricks you into thinking that it's about to end, and it doesn't, and then it ends. So it's just this great adventure. So we're very happy to present to you Brahms's Piano Quintet in F minor.